Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. Today, we have a very special guest, Mr. Nir Miretzky from CrazyLabs. Mr. Miretzky is the senior PM and also a global lead for CrazyHubs at CrazyLabs. And CrazyLabs is one of the most successful game publishers in the world, and their downloads have surpassed 4 billion. And we are very honored to have Mr. Nir Miretzky today as a guest. Welcome, Mr.
Thank you, my pleasure. Great.
How's everything going at Gamepons, CrazyLabs?
Well, in CrazyLabs, it's been great. In Israel, not so well. So keep in mind that maybe you will hear sirens and I need to go to the shelter. Oh. But for now, it's okay. Well, we got announced that it could be in the next 50 minutes. 50 minutes. So it could happen, but they are not always accurate.
Yeah, very sad to hear the news about
yes.
everything going on. Hope you and your family are safe. And today we're going to talk about CrazyLabs and also CrazyHubs. And I have some questions, so I want to start with the first one. So my first question is that there are not many game publishers that came up with the acceleration programs, and that's something that makes CrazyLabs different. What was the reason behind the idea to start CrazyHubs?
So the idea is relevant for the way we make or publish hyper-casual games. It's a complete system. It's a complete pipeline of how we work. But the most important thing about it is we need a lot of games to start this process for some of them to become great successes and top charts games. So we are looking all the time for new studios from all around the world to join us as partners, submit games to us. Then we test them, and if they are good, we are moving forward with them and testing until they become published. Now, we found out that all our best studios are studios that we mentored through this process and helped them and gave them some knowledge until they become better, or not exactly better, until they fine-tuned into becoming a good hyper-casual studio. Sometimes they work for higher studios, sometimes they were before casual game studio or even AAA studios. But if they want to make hyper-casual, they need to get this kind of knowledge to fine-tune and then go live with it. And when we understood that the mentorship is very relevant for the success and the success rate of those studios, we decided to first try an online accelerator. We took like 20 studios, we made some lectures with them, we had some lessons together, and we also gave them special treatment, special mentorship. And we saw the success rates coming up immediately. Then we decided to move on to make an offline hub, physical hub. We started the first one in Israel, in Tel Aviv. Now we are running, tomorrow we're supposed to finish the second one. The party was supposed to be tomorrow. It will be delayed a little. And during the hub, the accelerator, we found out again that the studios that start with, let's say, 1 to 10 success ratio will finish with 4 to 10, for example. It's not the exact numbers, of course, but we can see an amazing improvement. So what we are doing is like we're naturating them to become a better studios, to specifically to hyper casual, and on the way they also learn a lot of other stuff.
Great. And when talking about these acceleration programs, studios sometimes ask specific questions. So most of the questions are related to the acceptance criteria. So, for example, what are the requirements for applying to this cohort, and how is the selection process is carried out? I mean, in terms of how many applications do you receive, and what are the acceptance rates of those applications, and how does this process flow goes actually? Is there any requirements for the interviews, or is there any other requirements that are required from the studios?
Sure. So I'm sharing the screen, but I will explain it also audioly. So we need teams that have the capability to produce at least good prototypes. In hyper casual, good prototype is usually a short video, a 30-second video of the gameplay of the game, with almost no content behind it. We're only checking the marketability side of the game. So we need teams that have at least every team could be between 1 person to 3 people, and at least one of them must be a Unity developer. This is the basics of the basics. Other than that, we send them, we check their portfolio. We need to see that they have some kind of knowledge with games. We are not looking for specifically hyper casual knowledge, so they can get knowledge in casual games, educational game, advert games, anything that related to games, of course. But after we review their portfolio and accept them, we will send them a home assignment, and this home assignment will be around hyper casual game. They will have 1 week to make the assignment. Usually it's ideation part, when you only need to think about idea and to write it in a pitch, and the second part is to make a game, not always the same game you described in the pitch, but a very basic game, 1-level game. And after testing those two, we give them grades, and we choose the teams by those grades. Now, of course, we have a limited place in the hubs, usually between 15 to 25 members. So it's around, let's say, 10 groups in average, some of them 1 person, some of them 3 people. But if we will see we have enough good studios, we will also take 1 or more extra, because we know that good studios are not so easy to find and to mentor. And if we will have less, we can also open it with 5 teams. So it's only depends on the amount of good participants that submitted to the plan, to the program.
Okay, so so you are flexible with the numbers, and it all depends on the quality of.
We will not start with 1 team, but yes. Just a second. Sorry.
No problem. So my next question is actually about this your secret sauce, if we can call it like that. So what makes you different from other acceleration programs, and why should studios like choose CrazyHubs over others?
So first, there are not many, almost none, other accelerators in the field of hyper casual, and our requirements don't. We don't force you to be graduated with a university degree or with any other thing. We just need you to be talented, skilled. Maybe you learned at home. Maybe you learned in school, in primary school. Maybe you learn C# and just shifted to Unity. We don't care. We just want to see if you're talented. If you're talented, we can take you forward. We are not teaching coding during the hub, but we do have some special like master classes in Unity for the developers. So it's not only about developing. So first, we don't have a very high criteria to get you in. It's only about you and your talent. Second, we are paying kind of monthly payment. It's not exactly a salary, because it's not as high as a salary, but it's something that will help you to pay for food, to pay for traveling, maybe also for an apartment, depends where you live and where is the hub is happening. In Israel, it's not enough to pay for rent, but in India, it's more than enough, for example. And it's a nice amount, and usually people are happy with this amount because they are coming to learn and also get some expenses money. We also give them a percentage of their own games, so they can get also revenue if the game, some of the games will become successful, and you can see them in the charts. Of course, a big chunk of the revenue will go to them, and they can profit out of it. Usually, it doesn't happen during the hub, but it could happen immediately after it. When they finish the hub, they go to the real world, they continue to make games, and they have so much knowledge, it's only a matter of time until they make a hit, hopefully. Another interesting thing is that we also help people to become a team or a studio. Sometimes people come alone, but they want to become a studio, and we will help them to get a match if it's possible. So a good artist could join a developer. They can both pass the assignment without knowing the other side skills, but together they could become a good studio, and we already have very good results with it. We can see at least 5, I think, or 4 or 5 studios that matched by us and became real studios.
Okay, so it's not just about learning about the hyper casuals, like basics of the hyper casuals, but it's also about team building and meeting new people and forming new successful teams.
It's also a lot of fun, of course. It's like being in a global, in a jam, in a game jam.
Yes.
It's not as stress as in a jam because you have more than 3 days, or 1 day or whatever. But it's very not competitive. Everyone could win. Everybody could make a top chart game. So they help each other. They share knowledge. They sometimes mix and match the teams. And in general, the idea is to get as much as you can from this hub, this accelerator. Yes. And then when you go to the real life, you can use this knowledge. Hopefully with us, we don't make you to work only with us. Well, maybe for the first few months, but after a few months, you are free to go to work also with the accelerator, with the competitors. But of course, we try to do our best that you will choose us because we are the best.
Yes, yes, definitely. Yes, actually, my next question was about this value that you just mentioned. So the first part of the question is actually, what's the duration of this program? I mean, how long do these students are expected to attend the acceleration program? And the second part of the question is about the value. So what should the studios expect to gain upon completion of this program? I mean, what kind of value will they get once they graduate?
So first, the basic term of the hub is 3 months. This is the minimum. So you need to at least, how you say it, obligate, I don't know, to 3 months. Usually after 3 months, we give the teams the option to stay for another period of time. It could be 1 month, could be 2 or 3 more months. It depends on how much space do we have and when is the next batch will start. And during this time, they can continue to work using the same physical space, still getting some income from us, and continue to only focus on those games. Because in the first 3 months, they will have a lot of lessons, and they will have some assignments to do. And in the extension, they could start to build their own studio, to build pipelines, so they can have future income, future projects in the horizon. So this is the first thing about the length. We hope that most of the teams, or if not all of them, will become a real studios, a professional studios that could work with us after the hub. So usually in the end of the hub, we will offer them a real agreement, a real studio partnership agreement with us, that they could benefit money from it, and of course, even bigger chunk of revenue. Of course, we get to know each other, so they have like, they know the people from CrazyLabs, they know personally, they can reach us through Slack or through Skype or through email, and they can talk with us. So we are much more, I would say it, accessible for people that been in the hub. They also have, we get a graduation certificate they can use in their own LinkedIn or their own CV when they go to search for another job or to try to get accepted to existing studio. And I think the last thing is to know they get to know the other teams, which could help them in the future career. If one of the team become a big studio, if one of the team become a publisher itself, it's very good to know the people from it's like the alumni, it's like of this program. And hopefully from this month, when we are going to start 2 new batches, we will also try to get teams from across the world also to meet each other from different hubs. We will start 2 hubs this month, but in general, we will going to have around 5 hubs running in the same time. So we will also try to make some, at least, in spiral exchange between those teams.
Yes, that will make them to become more connected, and it will bring a lot of value in terms of networking. And
exactly.
My next question is about this. It's something that most of the studios are interested about, and they ask me, they want me probably to ask this question. There are 5 different CrazyHubs in the world, and I know that one of them has recently started in Turkey. I don't think their cohort has started yet, but I know that their application process is currently open. And for example, for a studio from Azerbaijan, is there any like geographical restrictions to apply to any certain type of CrazyHubs, or are they open to apply to any of? I know that there are 5 different countries that offer CrazyHubs, but can they choose the country, or is there any certain limitation for that?
So in general, we don't have limitations. Well, you need to come physically to attend. So if you want to travel to Serbia or to India or to Istanbul, you are free to do so. You can submit your form to get reviewed, and we review it exactly as the others. We don't care where you're coming from. If you are good enough, you can come. Of course, if there are visa issues or some other stuff, I'm not sure about the regulation, but if it's easy to do, we will be happy to. I can also tell you that in Serbia, we have some participants from Croatia, and they are even coming every day. Like they're still going to live in Croatia and come in the morning. And some of them will move to Novi Sad for a few months. The allowance that we are giving them supposed to be enough, or at least cover most of it. So they are doing it. They think that it's worth it. I think it's worth it too. And of course, hopefully in the future, we will have more and more points that you can join. So maybe some places are more closer to Baku, or or easier for someone to come. Maybe have a family there, or maybe have friends, so it will be easier for them. For us, you can submit whenever you want. All the positions are open.
Yet, just out of curiosity, are you planning to open another hub in one of the former Soviet Union countries, like CIS countries, maybe in Ukraine, Belarus?
Well, it's classified, but we are checking all over the world, especially if you will check the places that we already opened, and especially Istanbul and Mumbai. Both of them are a huge success points for hyper casual. You can see many successful studios coming from India and coming from Turkey. Hopefully you will also see them coming from Serbia soon. Israel, we did it because we are sitting there, and we have many hyper casual publishers in Israel, but not as many developers, but now we have. And Warsaw is amazing indie game studios company and also AAA. So we also thought it could become a good place to get talent from. And as we all know, everyone that know the hyper-casual business, there are many studios coming from the country you just mentioned, from Russia, from Ukraine, and other countries over there. And maybe the secret sauce of that issue is because the money that you can get even from testing hyper-casual games in those countries is meaningful. And at the same time, people are very passionate, and they want to learn, and they want to make new games, and they want to work hard. And if they succeed, it's a life-changing event. Now, if you go to the States, for example, we almost don't have any studios coming from the States. Maybe I have 2 of them out of hundreds. And this is because it's very expensive to live there. So the money that they make daily is not enough. And even if they make it a top chart hit and they get $1 million, it's amazing money, but it's not a life-changing amount as in other countries. So the secret is to find countries that it's not expensive to live there, but they are still very talented, very technology oriented, like in your place, like in other countries that you mentioned before, and the countries we spotted. And in the same time, to make a top chart hit will make a life-changing event for the studio. And we can see studios in India, becoming millionaires and in dollars, not in rupees. So it's, of course, it's amazing. Of course, it will not happen to everyone. Not everyone will succeed to make a top chart hit, but it's still the money that you can get for testing, for trying to become successful, could be very meaningful for a studio.
Okay, so geographical locations and the talent plays a great role in making these kind of decisions. Okay, and my next question is about is actually about the alumni. I know that you did not have too many cohorts so far. I mean, it's relatively new, but how many studios have you graduated so far from the CrazyHubs, and what are their success stories so far?
So I think we have around 30 studios, which is almost 100 people from Israel and from India. We already have at least 2 top charts games. I don't want to say which, but we have at least 2 top chart games that came from the hubs, and we have a few in the pipeline. Even from the first Israeli batch, we have 2 games that are still in the pipeline. From different reasons, they are still get very good tests, but they didn't get published yet, and they hopefully will be published soon. So if this will happen, we will have a few hits from each country. And hopefully, because Turkey and India, the studios that submitted to the hubs already been part of the industry before, most of them, and they already tested some games before. Hopefully it will happen faster for them, because they started the race further ahead of others, exactly.
Yes.
Or maybe it's because we could filter only the experienced one out of many submissions. And in Serbia, for example, we didn't have many people that already did hyper-casual games, but we could see amazing talent in the teams. So we also are sure that maybe it will take a few weeks more, but they are in the right way.
Yeah, perfect. And I have one last question before I move to Q&A session and read you the questions from the audience. But it's not about the CrazyHubs, but it's different. It's about the publishing games. I know that you're a senior publishing manager at CrazyLabs, and so just out of curiosity for the local studios who intend to work with the CrazyLabs, what's the process of publishing their games, hyper-casual games with CrazyLabs?
So as I said before, I'm trying to think where to start to tell the story. So first, to publish a game, we only publish games that are going to be successful. And it's funny to say it because everyone wants only to publish successful stuff. If you are a book company, if you are a movie a production house. But in our case, specifically in hyper-casual, lucky for us, we can test the games in a very, very, very early stage. We test them in the beginning before it's even a game. It's just a video, it's just a concept. After it passes this test, we test it only with the content for 1 day. And if both parameters, the amount of installs and the retention are good, we already have a very good hint or like we can say estimation of if this game is going to be successful. Then we are going to do another 2 kinds of tests. One is an ARPU test, which tell us how much money the game can make without scaring the people away because there are too many ads. And the scale test telling us how big the game could become and still stay profitable. So after we do all these tests, we know almost for sure, it's like a very high percentage that this game going to be published and it will become a top chart hit. So this is like the pipeline of a game. We accept games in different kind of partnerships. Some studios just send us videos, we test them, and if it's successful, we will pay for them and we'll move on, pay for the test or pay for different stages. Some studios have a relationship with us that we even pay for them if the test fails. So we pay for the concept, they try a few times, and if they couldn't succeed, they throw it away, but they get paid for it anyway. And some studios even get a retainer from us. They get a monthly payment, they send us prototypes, and we try to make one of the prototypes successful. If it's successful, they put aside all the new games and focus on the good one until it becomes a success. So, as I said in the beginning, we only publish games that we know people will love. This is like, it's the greatest concept of publishing.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you so much for a detailed answer. Sure. And now I would like to move to Q&A sessions, and some people have asked some questions under the video on Facebook. Mm-hmm. So the first question is that I think it's just out of curiosity. Tengiz is asking, have you had any studios from Azerbaijan in any of your cohorts, any of your batches?
No, in the hubs we didn't, but we did work or still working with Azerbaijan-based studios on regular publishing partnerships.
Oh, okay. So there's been none in the CrazyHubs. I know that CrazyHubs are new, so yes, so hopefully you will have some studios from Azerbaijan. Of course. But there are some studios working and publishing their games with you. That's great to hear. Okay, so the next question is: everybody is now jumping into gaming. I think what Mamad means is many people are moving to hyper-casual games. Is gaming industry getting crowded too much? So the question is, some people are seeing this opportunity with the hyper-casual games. There's a rise after the pandemic, so probably most of the people are moving into hyper-casual games. So
it's like Bitcoin.
Yeah, just like cryptocurrencies. Yes. So is this place overcrowded, like saturated, or is there still an opportunity?
The answer is have a few phases, few different parts. First one, we can know for sure that every child that is being born today, when he will grow up, he's going to be a mobile gamer, for sure. Mobile player anyway. Okay, maybe he will play hardcore games, or maybe he will play hyper-casual game, but he will be a player for sure. Anywhere in the world, in Africa, in India, anywhere in the world, people are getting mobile phones. It's like a basic thing today. And for that reason, the market is only going to grow more and more. Even the poorest places in the world is using mobile phones today instead of wallets, instead of anything, buying in stores, everything. So this is the size. But in the same time, for now, we only have 2 storefronts in the world. We have an iOS storefront, and we have the Android storefront. And on those 2 storefronts, we have only 10 top 10 games. We can't make more than 10 top 10 games. And there is a big competition. Who will go to the top 10? Because when a game, an hyper casual game, is getting to the top 10, you get a lot of organic installs.
Yeah, free traffic. Yeah,
exactly. Free. It's like getting free money, or it's not free exactly, but you understand. You don't need to pay for the UA for some of the people, so the cost per install is going down, and the game becoming more profitable. But it's very you can feel it very strong on the graphs. So in that perspective, we have many new developers all the time. We have many new publishers. The top 10 publishers are kind of the same all the time, but new publishers getting to the top charts from time to time. We can see a few Israeli one coming out of nowhere almost. We can see from all over the world, some studios that started with one game, they became very successful, so we make another successful game, and then they kind of became the publishers of their own. There are, of course, minuses and pluses for that situation, but it happens. So when you view the top charts, you understand there is a competition. But if you're joining a good, strong publisher, not only us, but of course, we are the best. Also, one of our competitors usually will get some kind of envelope that could make you go to the top charts before others with the same data, with the same game. You can go higher. So in general, I will recommend studios to work with bigger publishers than with smaller. Of course, there is also a problem with that because you can get less personal help. We put a lot of effort on personal helping the studios, but some other big publishers don't. So it depends.
So the way I understand it, it's all about data. I mean, once you're a big publisher, you have a lot of data, and it makes you like it will help you if you're a small studio. It will help you like easily to get your game like on top chart if you work with experienced publishers rather than the small publishers.
And not less important, it will also tell you when to quit a game, not to waste time on a game that don't have any real shells to become a success. And this is a very important side of hyper casual, to know when to quit, because you get in love with your game.
Yeah, that happens in every other industry.
Of course, but this business model is specifically designed to throw games away if they are not good enough and move to the next one, because it's very easy to make a new prototype. Well, easy in time when you scale the effort. Not easy because you need to get good idea and good execution, of course.
Yeah, you have to know how to kill your games and move to the next one. Exactly. Otherwise, you will stick with that one.
And you need to trust the publisher that if we tell you to do it, you know what he's doing. And we do some mistakes from time to time. We kill games and we see them on the charts later, but it's very rare.
Okay. So that's I think that's the main value of working with the experienced publishers rather than any other publisher.
Well, it's the second. Yes. But then if you compare it to other publishers, it's true. Yes.
Yes. So I have another question from Aiden. I think we have already answered this question, but I want to read it once again. What's the success rate of the studios after they graduate from your cohorts from the acceleration program?
So it depends on the studio, of course, and the size of the studio, and how much time the studio is investing in new prototypes. Some studios do work for hire while working on hyper casual. They need to do some other stuff. But if a good studio will focus on hyper casuals, they can even get to 1 out of 4 games to pass the first test. And then it depends on other criteria. But if you pass CTR or CPI with 1 out of 4 tests, then you will have at least enough money to focus on that. And hopefully it will be very fast to go to the top charts.
Great. So let me move to the next question. So I think it's a personal question. Hello, Mr. Nir. Is there anything currently that you are looking for that's different than what you have done in the past? So I think the question is more like as a publishing manager, is there anything like in terms of criteria, is there anything specific that you are looking for right now that have changed rather than maybe a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, in terms of spotting the successful? I think it's about the spotting the successful hit games.
Well, it's a good question. I don't think this question have a specific answer, but the only thing that I can recommend is to leave the industry, to eat and drink hyper casual all day. I'm playing every day. My team is playing all the new games in the store, all of them on iOS and Android, all the hyper casual games every day. It could be 10 games, it could be 100 games, but we are playing all of them. We are checking the top charts all the time. We are playing the competitors' games. We are testing hundreds of games. So when I see the trends in front of my eyes, and then I get a new game, I have some kind of something. I know what I'm looking for. I'm not always could explain it by words, but when I see it in my eye, I understand it immediately. If this game could become a hit, and this is something you get with experience. You don't get it, without it. And part of the stuff we do in the hub is helping you get this vision, like machine learning of your head of hyper casual. To get to consume so many hyper casual games that you can more easily see what's going to be a hit. So this is one side of the thing, and the second side is studios that are willing to work hard. And I'm not talking about working 24 hours. Yes, in the regular, let's say 8 to 12 hours a day, and they are willing to learn and they're willing to get knowledge from the publisher and from other studios. If I can feel it in the studio, I will take it immediately, even if you don't have enough skill, because I know it will learn the skill it needed very fast, not only on the hub, also outside of hub as a publishing manager. So it's not about a specific game, it's more about the team.
Yeah, I think I come from a startup background. It's the same with the startup.
It's true.
Yeah, you invest in the teams, not the
exactly.
game. I mean, you invest in people.
It's also very similar to the VCs. We invest in hundreds of games, but we know a few games out of those hundreds will cover the cost of everything.
Yes.
So it's very similar to our VCs that invest in startups.
Yes. So I think that's one of the reasons why success rate in the hyper casual games is like very, very few. So it's very hard to make a hit game, but once you make it, it covers everything.
Of course. And we try to take some of the risk out of the developers, because they cannot. If the developer will try again without getting any money, he will be frustrated. You need something to eat. You need something a place to live in. So it's impossible to do it just to wait for, it's like buying lottery tickets. It's not reasonable. But if you have a good relationship with the publisher, and he's also taking some risk on his shoulder by paying you money on the way to success, so you can survive, or you can even live in a good matter. I don't know how to say it. Live good.
In a good conditions. Yes.
In good conditions, and still get the chance to become a top chart hit.
Perfect. So it's a win-win scenario for both developers, games, and for the publishers.
If we find the balance, it's a win-win scenario. Yes, exactly.
Perfect. So my next question is about, I think it's about the hyper casual as a genre. So what CrazyHubs thinks about the future of hyper casual genre for 2022? So what will happen with the hyper casual in the future?
Yes.
Where is it going to actually, like the direction of it?
So first I want to say that hyper casual, I don't consider it as a genre. It's more like a business model. We need to make a game that the cost of advertising this game to get, let's say, 100 people will be less than the money that we will make from the ads that this 100 people will watch. So if this arbitrage between the cost of UA and the ARPU is positive, it's an hyper casual game. It doesn't matter the art, it doesn't matter the gameplay, nothing else matters, only the business model. But of course, to get better chances to do it, we know that you will need a specific art style and specific mechanics and etc. For example, there is no hyper casual game that you can make money with that is based on a horizontal gameplay, only on portrait mode, for example. Almost none. So this is this part, and the second part is what we're going to be in the future. I think the first thing that you can see, it's very easy to check it. You just need to go to the top charts, play 2 games, then go 3 months backwards in the App Store, play 2 games, go 3 months backwards. If you play 2 years backward, you go backward for you go back 2 years
backwards, yes,
and play all the progress, like in you capture some of the progress. You will see that the art style is getting much and much better all the time, still staying in the same basic guidelines, not too much details, not the characters are very basic. There are a lot of abstracts figures, abstract elements, but still you can see it's getting better in these limits. Second, people are making more and more games based on viral trends. Like they are watching TikTok, they are watching Instagram, they are watching YouTube, they are finding some viral situations and they gamify them into a game and then succeed with it. So you can see that part of the thing is try to how do you say it, enforce the wave of the trend and try to make it into a game. The other side of it is that many people are doing it at the same time. So you should be the first, you should do it the best, you know, but it's possible. So I think those 2 things are the future of the closest future is getting better and better art style, and the same time getting better and better ideas based on already viral concepts.
Events. So get original ideas. I actually remember a game that came out about this ship that got stuck on the Suez Canal. So I think people are watching like major incidents and news and trends going on in the world, and trying to make games out of it and try to. I mean, it gives free publicity, and I think that way it goes viral.
Yes, but you should keep in mind that short trends are not good for it. For example, we saw last week or 2 weeks ago, we saw this game called The Baby that was very famous. It became in the top 10 very fast. And it was based on a meme of this rapper. And after 2 weeks, it vanished, almost vanished. There was a lot of clones. I saw a 3D version of it. But in general, it's already disappeared. And I'm sure that the studio that make it couldn't make a lot of money so fast. So let's say we have elections in the US. We all know that there's going to be elections, so let's make a game with Trump and Biden, okay? But we also know that the day after the elections, nobody will care about it. So it's not a good trend to trust elections or stuff that have like a date that are going to finish after this date. But you can try to find more viral stuff like TikTok challenges or ASMR viral stuff in YouTube, stuff that have some kind of
lifetime value,
cycle,
like
lifetime value,
retention,
exactly.
life cycle.
Exactly.
So retention is more important than just getting the things
right. The retention of the idea. Yes, exactly.
Retention of the idea. Yes, exactly. And I think I have one last question. It's about I think the gentleman has published this game. The question is: I have a game with a 3.5% CTR, so click-through rate, I guess. Is that a good number? So that's the question.
So as always in data, it depends on the questions. In general, CTR, the idea of CTR is to make a video for the game with no build. There is no game. Nobody exported any games through Unity, only the video. We put it as a video ad and we count how many people click the ad. Now, the CrazyLabs KPI for CTR is above 3%. But not all the publishers are counting or are setting up the CTR campaign the same. Some people use Facebook audience, some people use targeted audience, so or using other networks. So if you need to do it the same exactly as CrazyLabs to know if your criteria is good enough, or better, you can send it to CrazyLabs. They will test it and they will say if it's good enough for them or not. I can also add that in the last few weeks, since of the iOS 14.5 update, I don't want to get into all the technical issues, but in general, CTR test became less, it's harder to estimate based on a CTR test, and we recommend doing a CPI test on Google Play to get the best estimation for the game, for now.
So focus on CPI.
Yes, you can also test CTR, but if the CTR is very, very good, so let's go on. But if the CTR is bad, it doesn't matter. It doesn't say that the data is not good enough. We already will also make a CPI test anyway. So for you, you just wasted time on the first test, usually. Perfect.
So we are done with the questions, and there is one last traditional question that we ask each guest speaker. So what would be your advice for new like studios, indie studios that are getting into hyper casual games, like for Azerbaijani studios? So what would be the best advice for them?
Play the top charts games is the first and only, maybe like the top advice. Play everything, play every day, all the top charts games. If you are new and you have time, play the top 50 hyper casual games. If you are already running and making games, you can play the top 20, but stay in touch with the top charts. The second thing is to approach a publisher when you have a good portfolio. You doesn't have to have any published game before. You need to have 2, 3, 4 good looking games that look as closer as possible to the top charts games. They can also be clones, although we will not publish clone, but we can understand your production value with it. And I also recommend people to make jams, to go to a game jam, and in 24 hours, in 48 hours to make a hyper casual game, and then to put it in his portfolio and to show it to the publisher. And the last thing is, don't make your own art. You can download all ready-made art. You can buy ready-made art. And usually we don't care about the art where it came from. A lot of games have the same exactly art that bought all of them downloaded from the Unity store, because there was a free pack. So if there is a free pack of Western games, you can see a lot of Wild West games in the same time, because all the studios downloaded this pack for free. So we don't care about it. Of course, we want you to have some kind of 3D experience, but it doesn't have to be unique. Just have to be good enough, and that you will know what to do if you need to fine tune it.
Perfect. So to summarize it, play top hit games, like top chart games, live with it. Second, get some portfolio together before you approach to any publisher. 3, try to use ready art instead of spending some time and energy on it.
Spending too much time, let's say.
Too much time on it. Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Nir, for today's time. And it was very interesting conversation. I enjoyed it a lot. And I hope local studios have also learned a lot from you. Thank you so much for your time, and stay safe. And hopefully we will have more studios from Azerbaijan applying to CrazyHubs and publishing games with the CrazyLabs.
I will be looking forward to meet them.
Yes, perfect. Thank you so much, and have a great day. Bye-bye.